can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. But sometimes you just got to run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, but I can't stop running because you're not going to do it. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life is chasing it. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Are we ready to start? Okay. Welcome to today's edition of English Live, where we will be looking at how to write a play, for performance. But before we get going, a few things that we need to do first. So if you are new to English Live, or if you haven't been with me for a couple of weeks because you've had a break, this is just a little reminder that you can download this document. There's a PDF for each lesson available on my Facebook page, and on it you'll find 6 different activities to extend and consolidate your learning after this lesson. They are not aimed at any particular age or ability, but more so for different learning styles. So you'll often find that the yellow task is more of a hands-on practical task, but there's a full range there for you. So you can get that from the English Live Resources group on Facebook. And in the same group is where you can post any pictures or videos of your work. I love seeing them. I try every evening when I sit down once the children have gone to bed to have a look through and see all of the work that you've done, and it is fabulous. So well done to you if you've been posting your fabulous work on the group. A few hellos before we get started. So, happy birthday to Lily in Kenilworth. I hope you're having a lovely day. What wonderful weather to have on your birthday. Hello to Caitlin in Sidcup. I hope that you enjoy the lesson today. Hello to Bella, Charlie and Cookie. To Adeline, who is in Year 6 in London. To Kai and Noah in Birmingham. To Ria in London. To Josh and everybody at Falkland Primary School. To Eloise in Hertfordshire. And to Tommy and Daisy in Leighton Buzzard. So welcome to all of you, and I hope that you enjoyed the lesson today. So we are going to be learning how to lay out a play on the page. So we're not going to be focusing too much on what makes a good play or a bad play, because that will be down to you. And everyone writes plays in their own style, and audiences are looking for different things from different plays and performances that they go to see. So we're just going to focus on how to lay it out properly on the page, and to make sure that your writing is useful for a performance. Okay, so if you were able to hand over your play to a theatre group, that they would be able to act it out and perform it and stage it in the way that you as the playwright had imagined. Okay, so first things first, little starter activity for you. What do you think these words mean? Some of you will already know this. Some of you might have an idea. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to discuss it with your adult or your siblings, or have a little think, or look it up if you like. Off you go. Play.
You can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just gotta run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, but I can't stop running because you're not doing. Listen to me, hear me. You
pause. Did you come up with some ideas? Did anybody in your household know for sure? Well, I'll give you the definitions now, and you can give yourself a tick or a pat on the back if you got them correct. So a monologue is when one person or a character gives a prolonged speech as part of a conversation with other characters or actors. So it can sometimes be a bit tedious, so we're waiting for that person to finish off their long spiel, but it is within a conversation with other people on stage or in a book, and that's a monologue. Okay, so a soliloquy, now this was one of our words from the Spellathon on Friday, so I know some of you have looked this up. A soliloquy is similar. It's a speech by one character or actor that is their thoughts read aloud, and not necessarily directed to the audience, but not in a conversation with other people on stage or in the scene. Okay, so soliloquy is slightly different. And dialogue just means a conversation between two or more people. Okay, so 3 key words there that are quite useful and important if you are thinking about writing plays. So I will take that down and I will come back to it at the end. We'll see if you can remember. Now, so what is the purpose of a play script? Okay, so what elements of a script are important when you're writing down your play so that a theatre company or a group can perform exactly what you had in mind? So there are 4 things that are really important. So the first one is the action. So what action happens on stage? What do the actors need to do to deliver the story? The second one is the speech. So the different lines that each person will need to read out. Number 3 are the emotions. So I'll give you some examples in a moment. But the emotions that your characters are feeling, so it helps the actors understand how to portray that particular character. And stage directions. So what is happening on stage? What do the actors need to do on stage? How do they move around the different props? How is your stage going to be laid out? All of that is really important information. And one of my favourite elements, actually, because you get to design what is on the stage. You get to make a decision. Are you going to have table and chairs, or are you going to have a wardrobe that opens up, and what props will be inside? And you can decide all of that when you're writing your play. Hopefully you'll be writing one later today. So let's move on. Now, we are going to do a mock play. So we're going to do a bit of a practice, but we're going to base it on a story that I hope everybody is really familiar with. It's The 3 Little Pigs. If you're not familiar with The 3 Little Pigs, then you're welcome to pick another fairy tale. It's just the one that I thought would be easiest for us today. So this is the story I'm talking about. Those 3 little pigs and a wolf. And we all know what happens in that story. So I want you to do the cover page for the start of your play. So the title, are you going to call your play 3 Little Pigs, or is it going to be some variation of that? Who are the different characters that are in your play? You can write just their names, and if you want to, you can also give a little description of them, what they look like or what their personality is like. And then you would put scene 1 and then the name of your scene. So what are you going to call that first scene, that first bit of action? And then the setting. So what will you have out on the stage? What are the props that you will have? Will you have chairs, things like that? Where will the audience be? Is it going to be facing the audience in a proscenium arch style? Or is it going to be street theatre? You can make those decisions yourself. And stage directions. So who comes in first? What are they doing? What instructions can you give to the actors for the start of 3 Little Pigs? Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes just to jot this down. Okay, and then I'll show you my one. Off you go. Play.
Somebody in your life is chasing you. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Did you manage to get something down on the page? Right, well, I'll show you what I did. And then if you're not sure if you've done it correctly, you'll be able to look at my example and check it against your own work. So I kept mine nice and simple. I saw in the comments some of you were coming up with names for the pigs and all sorts, and that's absolutely fantastic. My version is just a simple version to help everybody understand how to do this first part, okay? So I called my play The Three Little Pigs, and my character list includes Pig 1, Pig 2, Pig 3, and Wolf, okay? So those are my 4 characters that are in my play. If you want to, you can give a description of each of those characters. I didn't on my simplified version. So scene 1 is called The Pig's Big Build. I have described the setting. So the stage has 3 chairs facing the audience. Props are scattered around, including bricks, sticks, and straw. So that gives information to the theatre group of what I expect to have on the stage for my my play to come alive, okay? And then finally, in italics down here, there are some stage directions to indicate to the actors how they should enter the stage. So I've put Pig 3 marches on stage and beckons Pig 2 and Pig 1 to join him. Okay, so what you can do, so for maybe the Key Stage 3 learners or for any learners, in fact, try and think about the language you're using in your instructions, because it can communicate to the actors how to deliver their actions. So the fact that I've said marches and beckons, it's making Pig 3 sound a little bit bossy, and that's what I'm trying to get across at the start of my play. So how did you get on with yours? Do you need to make some changes? Do you need to adapt it a little bit? That's up to you. You can write your own play after this, and you can use all of these ideas in that. So we are going to move on. Now I'm going to explain to you how to put the dialogue, so the script, the words, down onto the page. So we're first going to talk about emotions. I've just realised that the printer left off the name of the characters, so I'm just going to pop those on. Okay, so see, it's absolutely live. So to communicate the emotions when you're writing down the different lines that your characters are going to read out, you would lay it out like this. So you'd have the name of your character, so Wolf, and then a colon to indicate that that's the character and these are his lines. In brackets, you can include the emotions that that character is feeling, and that helps the actor to understand how to relay that character in the way that you want them to, because you are in charge. So his lines are, "Why is your house so sturdy?" And then put number 1, probably should be pig number 3, if we know the story well. Pig number 3, I put "proudly." So again, that indicates to the actors how to deliver those lines. "Because I," pause, "built my house of bricks." So I've included a pause there, a little dramatic pause. Try and have a think about how your lines are going to be performed on stage. And are there any moments that would be really good to create some drama, okay? Because remember, it's a performance. It's not something quietly to sit down and read with a cup of tea. It's something to watch live on a stage, okay? So my instructions then are: the wolf takes a step back in disbelief and wipes sweat droplets from his forehead. So we can imagine the wolf going, okay? So you can include any instructions like this at any point throughout your scene to indicate what you want to be happening on stage. Okay, I would like you to have an attempt. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes to practice doing this. for your wolf and your pig. You can pick any moment, any scene that you like, and just have a practice of writing it this way and giving instructions for the actors and laying it out like this. Okay, off you go. Play.
Wait. You can't wait for their affirmation. You can't wait for their approval. You can't wait for their support. Sometimes you just gotta run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, but I can't stop running because you're not gonna do it. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life is chasing it. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because you know when you do it, you're gonna have to.
Can you see it okay? Pause. How did you get on? Was it hard? Did you find it easy? Have you got some good ideas? I'm looking forward to seeing some of these plays in the English Live Resources group later. It'd be lovely to see what you come up with. So before I do a few hellos, just a quick reminder, in the live chat, please can you keep the comments focused on the learning that's going on today, and also can you make sure that all of your comments remain supportive and kind, okay? That would be much appreciated by me. Thank you. So hellos, hello to Olive and Arthur in Devon, to Gracious and Jehan, to Max in Pembrokeshire, hello to you, and to Kingston, who is from Babbacombe, to Steph, who is 11 in Cambridge, to Jane, she just said say hi to Jane, so hi Jane, to Phoenix, who is in Wickford, and to Jessica in year 6, who is watching with her bulldog Martha. Well, I'm teaching with my bulldog Bertie, who's just on the floor down here. I'll pick him up for a quick hello before the end, okay? Right, let's get on. So as well as emotions, and giving advice to the actor on how to perform the lines in the emotions of the character in the way that you want them to. You can also give instructions to the actors on how they should say their lines. Okay, so again, we didn't quite get the printer working after yesterday. There we go. I will bring this up closer in a moment. So wolf 1, I've put in brackets laughing. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Pig 1, crying loudly, you mean old wolf. So by giving this indication to the actors of how the action should be performed and how the speech should be performed, they will have a better idea of doing what you want them to. So the first one might be, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Okay, so just by having that word laughing, it can really transform the speech for the actor with the instructions for them. And then pig number 1, crying loudly, you mean old wolf. Getting very pantomime style here, but the instructions are useful. You can see from those 2 examples. And then my stage directions down here. The wolf claps his hands with glee and leans forward, ready to blow. So you can imagine the wolf going. Okay. So these are really important elements with a play. Okay. So I'm going to move that a bit closer just for a moment so you can see. And you can either write another example yourself, or if you go back to the one that you just did, you might be able to insert some instructions for how the lines should be delivered. Okay, I'm going to give you just a minute to do this. Off you go. Play.
Wait on other people to be what you can call. You can't wait on their affirmation. You can't wait on their approval. You can't wait on their support. Sometimes you just gotta run and look behind you and say, everybody who wants to run, run, but I can't stop running because you're not running. Listen to me, hear me. You can't stop chasing your dream just because somebody in your life is chasing it. You can't stop believing in yourself just because somebody in your life won't believe in you. You can't stop chasing the dreams of your life just because when you know when you do it, you're gonna have to do it all by yourself. Did you manage to insert some instructions for how the lines should be delivered? So rather than the emotion in the actor's voice, maybe the actual physical way that they're being delivered. I really can't wait to see some of these. So a few hellos before we come to the end of the lesson. So hello to Finn and his 3 pugs that are all doing the lesson together today. Hello to Silliman, who is 14 tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow. And to Daniel, who is 9, who is watching with his granddad, John. I hope you're enjoying the lesson, Granddad John, and that you're going to write a play too, or maybe that you and Daniel are going to write one together and perform it together. So we have come to the end of the lesson.
Do we remember what these words mean? Monologue. Can you remember? Soliloquy. Can you remember? Dialogue. Can you remember? If not, you can always look them up online and write down a definition, or if you've got a dictionary beside you, hopefully you do, because this is an English lesson. Write down the definitions so you don't ever forget them again. Okay. Really, really wishing you all great luck to write fantastic plays today and to perform them. Will you have a soliloquy or a monologue in your play? You're probably going to have some dialogue in your play. And really importantly, don't forget to say when the actors enter and exit, okay? Because otherwise they'll just be on stage or off stage and they won't know when to come on or off. So that's a really important tip too. Tomorrow's lesson, we will be looking at Sherlock Holmes and the mystery genre, which will be lots of fun. And on Thursday, we will be doing a special Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 lesson about how to structure stories, okay? So how to make your stories, how to make the plot flow in a way that is interesting for the reader. And Friday, we have the spellathon. Right, I did promise you that Bertie would say a quick hello and goodbye at the end. He's fast asleep. I don't think he's going to be very happy with me. Bertie, you want to come and say hello? There you go. Bertie, look at all the people out there. Can you see them all doing their lesson? Yeah? Okay, down you get. Right, thank you for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to do this all again tomorrow morning. Have a lovely afternoon. Enjoy the nice weather from home, and all the best to all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.